So it impacts their mental...
It does. It can impact their mental capabilities. So that's why they say that they're slow.
Wow, they do talk slower.
They do. They do.
Wow, that is crazy.
We just all thought they talk slower because they had a little bit slower mentality, but really, they probably all have hookworm.
Dang. If you're watching this and you live in the South, get a parasite cleanse, guys. That's funny. Yeah, that'll go super viral. Wherever you guys are watching this show, I would truly appreciate it if you follow or subscribe. It helps a lot with the algorithm. It helps us get bigger and better guests, and it helps us grow the team. Truly means a lot. Thank you guys for supporting, and here's the episode. All right, guys, we're going to talk parasites today. We got Kim Rogers, aka the Worm Queen. What a nickname. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Crazy story you have.
Crazy. It's crazy.
I was looking up photos of your first parasite cleanse. That was gnarly.
Yeah, I was really sick. And it was nice to get down to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
To figure it out and then to kind of have all of this come about because this is my purpose. So what were the parasites doing to your body basically? Well, in 2018, they slowly started to kind of shut my body down. So I became overweight. I was grinding my teeth. I had really bad skin. And so my husband and I decided to kind of go out into the woods where we had some property and kind of figure out what was going on with me. And that's kind of how this whole thing started.
Yeah. And there was a doctor that was able to pinpoint that it was parasites?
No, I actually figured it out on my own.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a process. But so in 2019, when we went out to our property, it was for me to heal. He quit his job and we just went out to build a log home.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
So you were really sick.
I was really sick. Yeah.
He had to quit his job. Wow.
Yep. He became my caretaker. And I just ended up needing to figure out what was going on. So I got off all of my big pharma meds and I started to kind of dig deep and I started getting on some mushrooms, functional as well as active, just to kind of see where I was mental health wise. And then I was not getting any better. And so I started to kind of figure some things out with gut health. And I watched a TikTok in 2021 and the girl said, I can't believe I almost unalived myself because of worms. And I stopped and I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I had worms a few years ago. My doctor said, no, there's no way. And so I did the cleanse that she was talking about. And after I did the cleanse, within 3 days, I felt better.
Wow.
So I did a 60-second video that within 2 hours had 1 million viewers.
Dang.
And it shut my phone off. It shut TikTok off. Like, it was wild because there were so many. My phone couldn't keep up with all the likes and the comments.
Yeah.
It was a pretty funny video, though. It was like, because I come from a Western medicine background. So I've been in Western medicine since 2004, and I've never dewormed myself. And I did, and I saw flukes and roundworm, and I decided to get my stool tested, and I sent it to a lab in Arizona, and then they sent it to a lab in Mexico, and then it came back that I had Cryptosporidium parvium, which
Holy
is
crap.
really what was shutting my body down. And then I had roundworm and pinworms, and my husband had D. fragilis, and it was all from our water.
Oh, from tap water?
From the water, yeah.
Wow. That is crazy. So
Yeah.
that means everyone in that area probably has worms.
For sure.
People don't even know.
No, we tried to say something, but...
Oh, you try to speak out on it?
We did, yeah. And, you know, the thing is I want to help people that want to be helped. So I ended up doing this. This whole thing.
What percentage of people you think have worms right now?
Right now, they say approximately between 85 and 90% of people.
That's insane.
Around 1.5 billion are documented around the world.
Gosh.
Yeah, billions, not millions, billions.
And is water the main source?
Not always. Water's a big one. Lakes, if you go swimming, fish,
Eating
salmon, sushi.
Oh, I love sushi.
Raw meats, pork. That they provide tapeworms. Pork is really a well-known source for tapeworms. Raw produce, because if you're not washing your produce, you know, it's just coming from the ground, walking barefoot, and I'm going to probably get some hate from that because you should ground, but then you should cleanse as well.
I ground every morning. So are you supposed to just wash your feet off after, basically?
Yeah, I usually say to like put some diatomaceous earth in the area that you're going to ground and just make sure no pets go around there because your pets also have parasites. Like we deworm our dogs. Why aren't we deworming ourselves? Right? They lick us. We lay with them. They go to the bathroom. They have microscopic, parasites in their stool. And then you're walking on that ground. So you want to just keep an area that's just yours to ground in.
Right.
And you can put diatomaceous earth on that and it'll like rid any physical worms in the ground. And just know that that's like your spot for grounding.
That's good to know. Because I'd definitely be dodging my dog's poop when I'm grounding.
Right. Yeah. And do you deworm your dog?
I don't. I need to start doing that. That's not even talked about.
Right. You should. At least, they say 2 times a year, but they're out there drinking in a puddle. They're eating other dogs' poop. They're eating their own poop. And then they're licking you, and they're microscopic, and they can transfer.
Right, and they're also inhaling a lot. I don't know if that's a way it could get in.
It is, yeah, it is.
Yeah, they're smelling everything on those walks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, I need to look into that. What's the process? Because if it tastes bad, some dogs are picky, right? Is it a liquid form?
They have like a powder you can put it on, or you can get a liquid. I'm not 100% because I'm not on that side of the deworming world, but I just know that you're deworming your animals, you should be deworming yourself.
And how often are you doing cleanses?
I do them monthly, especially when I travel.
Monthly?
I do over the full moon. I'll do 3 days before the full moon, over the full moon, and then 2 to 3 days after the full moon.
Wow.
And then I do them 3 to 4 times a year. A main cleanse is what we talk about, 30 days. That's a main cleanse.
This box?
Yeah. So there's the 3 tinctures and then the binder, and that's your main cleanse. And it gets easier as you're doing it. But we eat questionably, right? I don't eat salmon anymore, but I do eat something that's steamed. And so I make sure that if I eat something questionable, that I utilize my kit in order to not ever get back to where I was before.
I've cut back on a lot of seafood just because of also the microplastics.
Yeah.
It's in every single wild seafood. So.
Well, and you just don't know what's on them because you can't see it. A lot of people that take our kit actually do see things. But not everything is sight, right? So Cryptosporidium parvium, which is parvo, which kills puppies, unfortunately.
Wow.
I had that.
Holy crap.
Yay, that's exactly what I wanted in my life, right?
That is crazy.
It's microscopic. You can't see it. So it was just really messing with me. And it can shut organs down.
Scary.
It is.
Have you seen any tapeworms?
Are you interested in coming on the Digital Social Hour podcast as a guest? Well, click the application link below in the description of this video. We are always looking for cool stories, cool entrepreneurs to talk to about business and life. Click the application link below, and here's the episode, guys.
Me personally, I don't have a tapeworm, but I've seen a lot of tapeworms to the point where when I was developing the kit, I ended up putting hawthorn in that because they don't like hawthorn. Tapeworm hates hawthorn. They say 3 out of 5 people have tapeworms.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I used to think I had one growing up because I was so skinny. And I probably did. If 3 out of 5 had a 60% chance.
And they can lay 1 million eggs a day.
Ooh.
I mean, it's pretty wild.
That is gross.
And they're segmented and they can break off. And I see a lot of them because everyone sends us their pictures.
Yeah. I've seen some of those on Instagram pop up.
Yeah.
It's so gross, but it's oh my gosh, he had a foot-long worm inside his body.
Foot long. We have an entire ebook, 600 pages of all of the parasites that have been sent to me in the last 3 years.
Wow.
We put it in an ebook.
You are saving lives. That
Feels
must be a great feeling
feeling
because these take away people's life force.
They do. They do. Energetically, physically, it took mine away. All of these environmental toxins were trying to ruin my body. And I have a lot. I have a lot to give. I don't want to be,
Yeah, because you were young when you dealt with that, right?
Yeah. Well, I've been chronically ill most of my life, and now I know a lot of the reasons why I was chronically ill.
Wow. So most of your life you were feeling sick.
Yeah, most of my life.
And it was because of parasites.
Pretty sure.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a Western doctor wouldn't even be able to test you for that, right?
No, and I came from Western medicine. I've been in Western medicine since 2004. I have 2 different healthcare degrees, an associate's and a bachelor's. My associate's is in medical specialties and my bachelor's is in healthcare management. And then I was a professor and I ran 25 healthcare colleges.
Wow.
I've authored books as well as written books. Well, that's the same thing. And I was a subject matter expert. I've served on medical advisory boards and then I got sick.
Crazy.
Yep. And my colleagues really didn't help me.
Yeah.
TikTok did, surprisingly, right? Well, and Instagram, because Dr. Jess is my friend, and like they really like talk a lot about all of the different type of environmental toxins that want to like constantly be unaliving us. So
that is crazy. So did they even teach you about parasites when you were in school?
we had about 3 minutes. About 3 minutes, yeah.
And it's in 90% of people, and they spend 3 minutes on it.
Even lab techs, like you were allowed to spend like 3 minutes on someone's stool, and if you didn't see anything, you would just mark it as negative. But then we had like an asterisk that said this does not verify that it's a parasitic infection, that we cannot like state that. But they just move it along as a negative because they didn't see anything within those few minutes, which means there's a cycle that they didn't see in the stool. And so it doesn't mean you didn't have them. Your blood work with the stool should be like something that you get together. There are times and there's types of tests you can actually take to see what type of parasite you have in your blood.
Yeah.
So because they're in our blood, our tissue, and our muscle, they're not just in our guts.
Wow.
They're actually all over.
That's disgusting. I thought it was just in your gut.
No, everyone thinks it's just like right here. But really, you've got your mitochondria is affected because they're in our cells. Yeah, you have to like, it's more than just in your gut. And that's what's great about tinctures, because it gets right into your bloodstream and then moves all over. Our kit is a whole body kit, not just like a gut cleanse.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering if I had them growing up, because I had a low white blood cell count my whole life. So they may have been just fighting parasites. That's why I was low.
Maybe. Because your body doesn't know any different. It just sees this invader, right? It just sees this toxin and it starts to fight and then lowers your immune system so that you are weakened to everything else. And that's why chronically ill people are way more prone to getting parasites, mold, Lyme, because our bodies are already weakened. So we just don't have a lot of mitochondria to fight off.
Right. I used to get sick like once a month in my 20s.
Dang.
Which is definitely not normal.
No,
for that
that's
young.
not normal at all.
Yeah, and mold exposure seems to be pretty
Huge.
prevalent these days too.
We also had mold poisoning while we were building our log home.
Wow.
We lived in a travel trailer on our property while we were building our home ourselves. And that was in 2022. So we had to move ourselves out. I finished my parasite cleanse. Everything came back negative. My eye started to swell shut. Bam.
Holy crap.
I had Aspergillus niger poisoning.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I've
I'm all
even
trying
heard
to
of
make
that.
videos. Like you can see some of my old videos. My eyes are all red. I look like I have like hot pink eye makeup
eye.
on. Yeah. And I'm like, nope, that's just my eye swelling shut from the mold.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So I created a mold kit. We have a mold kit called Moldies
Nice.
from all of my research from when I had mold poisoning.
Mold poisoning. I did
Yeah.
not know that was a thing.
It is. It's
Wow.
a thing. Environmental toxins are a real thing. It's a root cause. And it's just not something that, because we're in a Western medicine countries, right? All of these Western medicine countries, they don't recognize this as an issue. And it's a huge issue. Huge. And you can actually watch my journey literally from start to finish from 2021 until up till today.
Yeah, they never address it. Whenever I've gone to the doctor for any sort of sickness, they never asked about what caused it or is this a parasite thing?
Never.
Not once.
Nope, they don't know enough, and that's not always their fault, right? Because at some point in the process, we've lost this training type of indoctrination versus like 100 years ago, this was a thing. Like all of the way we've created Parafy and all of our tinctures are all the way our ancestors used to do it. So the kind of like looking at the bigger picture of it all, herbs are really awesome, but they can't be patented.
Patented. Oh, so they can't make money off it.
Right.
Right. They go where the money is, which is prescriptions.
Right, synthetically driven medications.
And the margins on those are insane.
Exactly.
On Ozempic and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people are on Ozempic right now.
There are a lot
When
of
they
people.
could just be taking cleanses instead and then fixing their lifestyle.
Yep. It's a lifestyle change. You can go into this like your first cleanse and not want to change your lifestyle, but it's going to make you change it because your taste buds change. They're in our mouth. They're in our tissue. So it's going to make you want to eat better. It's going to make you realize that you need to cleanse your system out because we're overloaded with toxins.
Right. Is it true if you have a big drive for sugar, it could be a parasite thing?
100%. Yep. Especially Candida, because Candida is sugar driven, but they thrive off of sugar. So you're feeding them instead of feeding yourself. That's
Right.
really ultimately what it ends up being. And we all have yeast in our body. So an overgrowth of yeast ends up being Candida, which ends up being a parasite as well. So it's very easy to get candida.
Wow. Yeah, because they call that a sweet tooth, right? But it's most likely a parasite infection.
For real, it is. Because you can get systematic candida. So everyone stems what we're saying is in our gut, but really it's in our cells. That's what we're trying to clean up, is our cells.
Yeah. Are there ways to identify if you have parasites?
Really how you feel, grinding of the teeth, skin issues, a lot of skin issues stem because this is our biggest organ. And so when toxins are trying to run out, right, like push them out, they push out our skin. So IBS, gut issues, bathroom issues. I was constipated for almost a month.
Wow.
That's kind of what started leading me to like figure out what was wrong with me, is I couldn't go to the bathroom. That's not healthy. It's like sitting in your colon, like the toxins are then just going back in and creating, more issues.
And stool tests can probably identify it too, right?
Yeah, a lot of stool tests. We have a couple of people that we use that have some good reputation for stool tests and that can tell you exactly what's going on. That's how I found out I had candida.
Wow. Will it show up on a blood test?
If you get specific testing, yes. And especially if you do it over the full moon.
Full moon?
Because the full moon is a thing. They're the most active during a full moon. And then why everyone's kind of crazy during a full moon is because they're eating your serotonin. They live off of it. That's why they make you feel sad.
Interesting. Yeah, some people are weird during full moons.
They are. You never want to work in an ER during a full moon.
Oh, yeah? People go nuts?
It's wild.
Wow. So they're just all infected with parasites.
That's what I think.
Crazy. Yeah, they never talk about that.
No, and it makes them wild. Like, it makes you wild. You don't actually, it's not your personality. It's they're telling you what to do.
How common is it to get parasites from your pets?
Very common. It's probably the number one way to get them.
Wow. That is crazy, actually.
Well,
people kiss their dogs on the lips.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. We had dogs, and we didn't know we should be cleansing, and our dogs had worms. I never really thought about when our dogs had worms that I could be also getting them microscopically and then ingesting them. I always washed my hands. I was always very careful on what I did. But that doesn't mean that, something doesn't slip and it just happens.
Dang. I got to give up those cheek kisses from my dog.
Oh, no, please don't. You know about Toxoplasmosis, right?
No, it is
You don't? The cat parasite?
I don't have cats.
Okay, so, they say to women, don't scoop cat poop when you're pregnant.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, when you have a cat, you have to scoop their poop. But toxoplasmosis is actually found in a mouse or a rat, which then they go and snuggle up to the cat, because the next part of toxo, for it to regenerate, it has to be done in the cat's gut. And then the cat goes to the bathroom, and then you scoop the poop, and you get toxoplasmosis. And it can control your mind.
What?
So part of toxoplasmosis, they have found people tested positive for toxoplasmosis in their blood that were like riding crotch rockets. They were being sexually promiscuous because it can control your mind. And if you think about how the mouse ran to the cat, which they're enemies, but it went and snuggled up to the cat, it controlled that mouse.
Holy crap.
So think about it in like how the bigger picture with parasites is, right? This one little mouse snuggled to the cat, and then the cat ate the mouse. It regenerated, and that's how parasites work.
That is fascinating. My cat used to bring home mouses and rats, and it was disgusting. He was like an outdoor cat. And my mom wasn't pregnant at the time, but wow, that's crazy.
They say that you shouldn't scoop the poop when you're pregnant, but no, the thing is that everybody can get it, not just a pregnant woman. They just specifically don't want you to scoop cat poop when you're pregnant so you don't pass it to your child.
Right.
Specifically.
So if you have parasites and you're pregnant, that's probably really damaging to the kid too.
Yeah, it can be transferred.
Wow, that is nuts. Yeah, this whole thing is crazy. I can't believe 90% of people have parasites, and they're just walking around like they don't even know.
Yep. And some people believe that they can live symbiotically with us, but I am just not one of those people. I do not believe it. I just don't. I'm proof.
Yeah, there's probably some good parasites, but
I don't think there are.
Really?
I do not. I do not think that there are good parasites.
Okay.
I am not one of those people. But some people really do believe it, and that's cool. Like, there is a 50-50 split at times, but I'm just not one of them.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely
it's obvious that certain ones are bad. So
Yeah.
if they're defending those like tapeworms and stuff,
Oh,
that
yeah.
doesn't make sense.
They believe that, I don't believe anything that eats off the host is going to be good for you, because that's what a parasite does. It just eats off your host. It steals your nutrients. 90% of your nutrients goes to them. They're able to be stealthy. They have a biofilm that covers them, but the biofilm absorbs your nutrients and goes directly into feeding the parasite. So it feeds them, and then they kind of give you what's left over. And that's why a lot of people that have parasites are so ill.
Wow. Do you take probiotics too?
I do.
Okay.
I take them usually with food. Like I take food as my probiotic now. I'll do like coconut cult, and then I'll do like blueberries. So I'll do a pre and a pro.
Got it.
And then I do sauerkraut, just because it's hard to digest pills. And that's kind of what like brought us into the tincture world, is because everybody's exhausted with all the pills you have to take.
So many.
So many.
Brian Johnson's taking 150 a day.
Oh my gosh. I think I saw that.
Yeah. And Dave Asprey too.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. I was at like 26 and I'm exhausted from it.
Yeah, I'm at like 12, but even that's just kind of annoying.
It is.
And now they're finding heavy metals in some of these.
They are.
So you got to third party test your pills.
We do. We third party test. We did pesticides, heavy metals, and microbes, and we're negative for everything.
Wow.
And then we're also, because we're finishing up our 10,000 square foot manufacturing facility, since we make everything ourselves by hand in big batches, we'll have a machine that you'll actually be able to, when we get the herbs themselves, we'll be able to test the herbs before we put them in and soak them.
Wow. That is cool.
We're taking it very serious.
You need to these days, because there's a lot of brands that don't take that extra step, and then there's toxins in the actual pill, which is kind of ironic, because people are taking it thinking it's good for them.
Yep. That's why I started the kit. I wanted to know what was going to be in me, right? What I'm ingesting. I want to know exactly where it came from, how it was processed, what herbs were used, were they ethical, were they organic? I needed to know for myself.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't want to have other people take it if they don't know either. It's why we put exactly what's on our kit on our labels.
It's cool to see your change, because you dedicated most of your life to Western medicine.
I did.
So that must have been a weird kind of,
A little bit. Yeah.
like you found out it wasn't exactly what you thought, right?
And I had invested like 20 years of my life and taught people, and I was a professor. I loved it. It's kind of why I'm so good at what I'm doing right now, because it's just, I'm an educator. Like, it's my passion. I love teaching people about the body. Like, we have one of these, right? We should know how they work.
Yeah.
We should know what's good for us. We should know what we're doing with them. And so it was a switch for me, for sure. I think I went through a few dark moments where I felt really let down by Western medicine, especially when I found out what was wrong with me and how easily this could be fixed.
Right.
And how much I went through to get to that point. I had stage 4 endometriosis, and
Jeez.
I had 13 surgeries.
Holy crap. That is crazy.
I was really sick.
And all you needed was a cleanse.
Possibly, that's
So you
all I
spent
needed.
all that money, all that time, all that stress,
Yep.
and you just needed $100 parasite cleanse.
It feels like it, yes.
That is nuts. And there's probably people dealing with that right now
Yes.
too.
Yep. It's why I get on every day. This is why I do this every single day. It's why everyone around me has to have the same mission, because it's just about educating. Knowledge is power, making sure people understand what they're doing, and making sure that people really grasp like the concept of what, it's not just parasite cleansing, candida, heavy metals, it's these things all weight our bodies down
Right.
and really do make us not live the life we're supposed to be living. Our bodies are not supposed to be sick. They're made to heal themselves. You get a cut on your arm and it heals itself. That's what your body wants to do for you.
But
Doesn't want to sit around and be sick all day.
yeah, and there's a huge spike in autoimmune diseases.
Yes.
I had a guy on yesterday who had MS, and now they're finding out some of these could be parasite related.
Tapeworms. So they did a study, 100% of the cadavers came back with a tapeworm
Wow.
for MS patients.
Really? Oh, I got to tell him, because
Yep.
he got diagnosed in 2015.
He should be drinking hawthorn berry every day, like
Okay.
a tea. But he should do our cleanse. That's why I put hawthorn in Parafy, because of tapeworms. And so they came out with that study. And of course, it was hush-hushed, right? So they came out with a study, and it was in like 2011, and then they didn't actually announce it until 2021.
Whoa, 10 years?
Yep, it sat there.
That is weird.
Yep.
Must be some money flow there.
Oh, it's MS.
Yeah, $1 trillion industry.
Oh, for sure. I used to work in neurology. It was one of my specialties. Neurology and endocrinology were my specialty.
And they
So-
taught in every documentary I've seen on it that it's untreatable.
Right.
Like once you get it, you're done. So
That's the mindset people have when they get it.
Yep.
They don't think they could fix it.
Right. So then they just don't even start digging to look how to fix it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I was. I was like, this is not how I'm supposed to be. Like, I 100% knew something was wrong with me. 100%. I knew in the moment that I started digging into my own health that this is the path I'm supposed to be on.
Right.
And I kept doing, like, I did cool things like mushrooms, and I meditated, and like things would come to me, and I started to kind of like trust myself more and feel like I've got the answers. I just need to figure out how to find those answers. And that's kind of what the Parafy kit really does for people, is it gives them that hope that they can dig a little more by giving them just a little bit of energy.
Right.
Just allowing them to have just that glimmer of hope to understand that they can find out what's wrong with them. And a lot of root causes is parasites, mold, candida, heavy metals. Get rid of those first before you go and verify for a fact that you have to do this all the time.
Right.
If I were to do a cleanse, I probably wouldn't have gotten a hysterectomy.
Wow. What exactly is that? It sounds scary.
A
I don't know what that
hysterectomy
is.
where
Yeah.
they removed my uterus, and
Oh my gosh, you
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to have kids.
I can't have kids.
Yeah, that's
I was
crazy.
29 when I had a
29.
hysterectomy.
Oh, you had one?
Yeah, I had one when I was 29. I'm 45.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is insane.
So I might have done this kit, figured out what was wrong with me, and gone from there.
And they, holy crap, that's crazy.
Right?
And that still didn't help when you got that removed?
No, so I had 5 surgeries before my hysterectomy. I had my hysterectomy, and then I had 5 surgeries after my hysterectomy. And then that's when this whole thing started, was in like 2020. I can't have any more surgeries. I'm surgeried out. There isn't much left that they could scrape out. I've lost 9 organs because of
What?
endometriosis.
Holy crap.
So in 2020, when I went to my doctors and I said, listen, I haven't gone poop for a month. What's wrong with me? She basically came back to me and was like, Kim, you can't have any more surgeries. Like, we're just creating more and more scar tissue. So you're just damaging yourself more. You really shouldn't be under anesthetics anymore the way that you've been under them. And why don't you try some psyllium husk?
What is
And
that?
I was like, psyllium husk? Like, it like helps fiber. Like, it just helps make you poop.
Oh.
And I'm like, you don't think that I've tried everything? Like, come on now. So yeah, that's how this whole thing started.
Oh my gosh.
They
what
just,
a journey.
there was just nothing left that they could do for me.
Yeah.
And that's just not fair, right? Like, I trusted them, like they're my colleagues. I worked with them for over 20 years in Western
Wow.
medicine. Like, at some point, I just needed to kind of break away and figure out what else was wrong with me, because obviously they were not going to do it for me.
Yeah. Because growing up, you treat doctors with like the most respect. You look up to them, you listen to what they say, but little do you know, they don't have all the answers.
Right. And I don't believe that we shouldn't have Western medicine. I believe Western medicine should be here 100%. It saves lives. It's really of importance, but it's not meant for what we all need it for right now, which is you got to figure out your root cause. You got to figure out what's going to suit you best. And if that means you do a cleanse for $100 for 30 days and you feel better, well, why are you feeling better after you do a cleanse? Like, what's making you feel better? What is the root cause of what's making you feel bad? And then you do something that makes you feel better. That's kind of your answer right there, right?
Yeah.
And that the whole point of all of this is just to feel better.
Absolutely. And there's a mental health epidemic right now. Do you think that's related to parasites?
100%. Because I have severe PTSD. And when I cleanse, I feel so much better because I'm getting rid of those heavy metals. I'm getting rid of parasites. And when they sit in your gut, they actually can cause you to not like yourself. They also can live in your lymphatic system. And this is your connection to your brain. And your gut is your brain. So when those are all off balanced, your mental health is going to be trash.
Yeah.
So anxiety is a big one. Anxiety is a huge factor
Yeah,
for
anxiety,
parasites.
brain fog, depression.
Brain fog, huge. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And people don't even connect the dots there. They just think it's like their life is stressful.
Right.
They don't think about what's causing it.
That's why we left to go to the forest to build a log home in order for me to figure out what was wrong with me.
I love it.
Yeah.
Taking mushrooms in the forest.
Oh
Good
my God, it
memories
was so
doing that.
fun. So many memories.
Yeah.
It was the best. That's why our logo is the mushroom.
Yep. You sent me some of those.
Yep.
I love those shirts.
I learned how to break amanita down to create kind of similar to benzodiazepine, which is what I was trying to get off of when all of this kind of started with my health journey. It's been a great journey.
Yeah, what a journey.
Yeah.
One of the most inspiring I've heard. And you've sold over 80,000 kits now.
We have.
That's incredible.
Yeah, we're just here making sure that humanity knows that there's answers that they can turn to, and we give all of our knowledge for free. And we sell a kit in order for us to pay to put out ebooks and to have a nice website that can be utilized in an easy way for people that are chronically healing.
Yeah.
So we just really want people to know that they're not alone. And as you know from maybe not feeling good when you're 20s, it's a lonely thing when you're chronically ill. People don't understand it. They don't understand the concept behind I don't feel good. They think that you're just not wanting to do something or you're lazy. But in fact, like I'm a very high energy, very productive chronically ill person. Like I worked 80 hours a week. I went to college at night and I felt like trash every day.
Wow.
I just like to push myself really hard.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of an exception to the rule, but most people are by themselves and they don't get it and no one around them is supporting them. And especially with parasites, because man, if you could see my DMs, we have a team, we have 30 employees that work for Rogers Hood and 6 of them are on my social media team.
I bet you need
oh my gosh,
team on there, probably getting hundreds of messages.
Hundreds a day. Yeah. We have emails and then we answer every DM. We answer every comment. We don't want anyone to feel alone. We want everyone to do this, and a community drives you to strive more. I wanted to build a community more than I ever wanted to do anything else.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's what I try to build too, communities.
You have a beautiful community, Sean. I love your community.
Yeah, and that's something everyone should embrace, like building local communities or just communities of like-minded people, because that's a lost art.
It is. And we're all so busy, right? So it's kind of cool that we can kind of like poke into that community and like kind of be able to chat, and we don't all have to be together in person to have that community anymore. Yeah. So I think 2020 really did that for us. And I find that to be kind of cool because I didn't have a community like this. So selfishly, I love my community, but selfishly, I love it because I'm not alone when I feel like, oh, I need to ask a question about something. So in the process of all of this, I found out I have chronic Lyme. And I was in my end stages of chronic Lyme as well when I was so ill and went to the property. And I wouldn't have ever found that out if I didn't have a community.
Wow.
It just wouldn't have been something that I would have even know where to get tested or been able to kind of process. And my kit helped me. Ironically enough, my kit has saved me on many occasions. And so I didn't even like think about it. Like that would be a possibility that I would have chronic Lyme.
Man, you had a lot of stuff.
I have.
That's crazy.
Yep.
And Lyme lasts years, right?
Yeah, so we think that I have had Lyme for 30 years.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
30 years?
Possibly my mom gave it to me. We're in the process of getting her tested next just to see like how far this went down.
That's crazy. My dog has it.
Oh, your dog has Lyme?
But they said it's not like a toxic level, but it's still concerning. Like he got it young too.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's upsetting. Animals are so pure.
They are. They're so amazing.
Yeah.
I love them. They're so good. But you should deworm them.
Okay. I'll get on that ASAP for sure. Yeah, I got 2 boys that I love more than most humans. So
Safeguard's good. You can get it on Amazon. It's a good one. It does it per weight. The one that we like is a blue box, but again, it's per weight. So you can go on like my Amazon storefront, and the one I like, which is fenbendazole, it's a Safeguard. I like that one the best, and you can give it to them. You can put it on their food. It's a powder. You can mix it up. I don't know if they have a liquid. I do think it might just be powder.
Okay. Powder's probably easier because they're picky with their water, actually.
Yeah. You just put it on their food and mix it up.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I'll buy that tonight.
Yeah.
So how long do you think parasites have been around?
I mean, they've definitely been around a lot longer than we could even consider. But if you know about the Civil War, there was an issue with hookworm in the Civil War. It almost took both sides out. And they do say that people in the South are a lot slower because of hookworm. Yeah.
So it impacts their mental...
It does. It can impact their mental capabilities. So that's why they say that they're slow.
Wow. They do talk slower.
They do. They
For real?
do.
Wow, that is crazy.
We just all thought they talk slower because they had a little bit slower mentality, but really, they probably all have hookworm.
Dang. If you're watching this and you live in the South, get a parasite cleanse, guys. That's funny. Yeah, that'll go super viral. Where could people find out more about Parafy and about you?
Well, you can find me, Mrs. Rogers Hood, on TikTok, and then I'm Mrs. Rogers.Hood on Instagram. Someone has Mrs. Rogers Hood, and I feel real bad for her. I can only imagine what her DMs look like.
You should message her and try to get the page.
She got verified and everything, so
wow.
I know. She's
Shout out to Miss Rogers Hood.
Our website is rogershood.com, and we're just Mrs. Rogers Hood across the board. We also have Rogers Hood Apothecary accounts, so we're everywhere. We want to make sure that you're supported, and I've had a few takedowns from TikTok and Instagram. This is kind of a hot subject. Parasites are. So we have all the supporting accounts in case my accounts had ever gone down, which they had. So,
Smart.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll link it all below. Thanks so much for coming on, Kim.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that was fun. We're going to change some lives together. Thanks for watching, guys. Definitely check out her parasite cleanses, and I'll see you guys next time.